Hey, what's going on, folks? Today I'm going to be breaking down my method to find the dealing range. This is something that I kind of was lagging on a bit, so sorry about that. So before we go on, it will make your life a lot easier if you use this particular indicator. If you search Williams fractal on TradingView, you'll see something like you'll see this pop up. This is also on a lot of other platforms. It's actually very common to see. It's on Tradeovate. You'll see it on Thinkorswim. You'll see it pretty much everywhere. This was made by a trader back in the day. I think it was like 95 by a Bill Williams. He was really a really popular dude. He developed this saying that, you know, having a fractal high or fractal low, those are usually most likely going to be a swing point for trend. And understanding that, so you'll get a indicator, or when you turn on the indicator, it puts a flag above certain candles, as you can see. Now, I will say the stock Williams fractal indicator is fine, but if you want something a bit more customizable, there are some user-made fractal indicators out there in TradingView. The one I use is called Fractal or Fractals by Igor T. They're all pretty much the same. You can search through the indicator list and try to find other ones, but you don't really need anything special. Just a basic fractal indicator is fine. So let me just show you. So this is what pops up. If you use the Williams, it's a triangle that's like green or blue or whatever. Um, you don't really have the option to have a customizable symbol over. So it looks really, I don't know. For me, it didn't look too great. Anyway, let's move on. So what is a dealing range? ICT broke it down into something like this. It is basically the high and low swing points during a specific time frame where both the fractal high and low has taken liquidity. So going back to the indicator here, when a candle gets a flag over it, that is considered a swing point, right? If you're on the lower time frame, these flags are abundant. Now, if you go on the higher time frame, like the daily, like this, um, and you scroll back with the indicator on, you'll see a lot fewer but clear swing points, right? Like you can see that these are clear trend breaks, right? So, uh, anyways, for my final point, I must emphasize this. You must correctly identify the dealing range. If you get it wrong, you'll probably lose every single trade you take with my model. So let's get into some examples. Okay, so here we are on the 15-minute time frame. This was today's price action. It was very, I would call it SND, seek and destroy style. This is actually great for the people that use solely dealing ranges for their trading confluences. Um, I'll get into that a little later, but let's look at some examples on how to find it, right? Let's just assume that our day started at around 8 right here, right? So everything after this is gone, right? Uh, so so right here, if I look to the left, I'm trying to find the highest high and the lowest low that took liquidity, right? So for instance, this morning, I wake up at 8 and I see this, right? Um, but then the high of this dealing range, once the high or low of this dealing range gets taken, then that then becomes the high of the dealing range. But you have to wait. You have to look left, and if you don't see anything or any of the fractals getting taken, then this continues to be your dealing range right here from here on out. Okay. So the high gets taken over here, or sorry, the high gets taken over here now, right? And we took out the lows over here. That is our new dealing range, right? So this morning, if you were to get in on this, you see it was just a straight V. Usually, like I said in a prior video, if you see a V, pretty much you're guaranteed that's just going straight to the high. And you'll understand with a little bit of practice. Anyways, so then yeah, so we both the high and low of this dealing range get swept, but before we'll go in order. So okay, this guy, this high got swept, right? So it moves to that high, but then if you look to the left, this is still the lowest that took all the liquidity, right? All right, but then this guy, it comes straight down and it takes this guy right here, right? And so this is your dealing range now. And oh, the high gets taken over here, right? So this is your dealing range now because nothing got swept. No liquidity got swept. This is the lowest point that swept something. So it swept all this and everything before it, right? So those are a few examples on how to do that. Let's try something else then. Let's go to a 4-hour. How about that? Excuse me, I have a little cold right now, so so starting from a very clear dealing range. So let's go here because this swept over here and this guy swept over here. It's kind of like megaphoning. So we'll say that this is the 4-hour dealing range now. The low and high gets taken again, so it was a 4-hour megaphone again, right? And then just the low got swept here, so this is your dealing range now. And again, same here. Nothing's getting swept up top. And then again, it gets swept down here, right? And then finally, it gets swept right here. It barely goes over, but that does change the dealing range for the 4-hour now. So this is your 4-hour dealing range that you're going to be working with. And then it sweeps higher. We're up here, right? And nothing swept. So this is still your dealing range right here. So this is your dealing range right now. Oh wait, no, we did sweep. Apologies. So we did sweep a fractal low over here, right here. This is your dealing range now, right? So it went from here to here. And then we take the low over here to the next fractal low over here and kind of see how price respects these levels, right? Okay. And now that the low got swept, it's now this is the dealing range. So this is the current dealing range right now. Excuse me. And you'll see that the levels do get respected. So in my opinion, we're gonna run the high, the previous week high over here. I don't know if it's gonna be tonight or tomorrow or in the morning. I'm not sure. Right now, it's about 10 at night, so maybe in a few hours, London might take it, or London might do something weird. But excuse me. At this point, I think we're gonna take previous week high. So let me get more examples then. I don't want to go to the lower time frame because it gets extremely convoluted. The only time frames I look at are the 15, excuse me, 15, 30 hour, 4 hour daily. And the weekly and the monthly, it's just too far along. I mean, most of you guys are prop traders anyway, so can't really use it too well. Anyways, let's try going to a daily. So this one's going to be kind of fun. So I see that this right here, this low swap that. Well, maybe we can go from the highest high to the lowest low so that you guys can get a better idea of where everything is. So, so the last leg that swept some form of liquidity was this fractal right here. So this is probably your dealing range right there. Excuse me. But you'll kind of see that generally it kind of follows the lines, right? The quarter lines of everything, 50%, kind of chops around there. Anyways, so the low gets taken over here. This is the next fractal low. That is still the high. I don't see any fractals getting taken over here, so we're gonna keep continuing. So it gets taken down here, down over here, but then this guy over here moves down over here because you see that this fractal high swept this fractal high, right? So this is your dealing range now, right? And now we swept up here, so the new dealing range goes up to this fractal high. Did any fractals get swept along this way? It did not. So this high got taken. So it moves higher. And still nothing got taken yet. So in my opinion, once this dealing range finishes, we could fall back pretty far down. I know there's a lot of breakaways around here, but there are a lot of open gaps in RTHs that we still haven't balanced. But I don't know if we're going for all-time highs first, or I don't. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But at the moment, it kind of looks like we might be going for all-time highs. I can't really say, right? Like even if we went for a weekly dealing range, this is the highest high. Nothing's higher than this. This is all-time highs right here. And then nothing swept here. So we're going to move on. But, well, here, how about this? This is the weekly dealing range right here from this point. Gets swept over here, gets pulled down to this guy over here, right? Because this leg, the last fractal swept everything over here. And so we're in a weekly dealing range right now, and we are kind of Ving. We see that, at this level right here, we made a weekly. I don't know if that's considered a great order block, but yeah, that could be a weekly order block to take external liquidity up here. Could be, never know. Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Let's just say. Sorry, I'm sidetracking here. Let's just say you have a deal. Or not a daily, a 4 hour dealing range, right? Because I do this sometimes. So it was from here to here, right? This is our current dealing range right now. And let's just say, like down here, like you're trying to see what our dealing range is going to be, right? Like, what's the confluence here? Anything under the 50%, you're in a discount. Anything above is a premium, right? So you want to find longs under here if you're bullish, and shorts up here if you're bearish, right? So 4 hour, I usually have them different colors so that they don't clash. So this leg took liquidity and this took liquidity at the high, right? So this is our dealing range right here, right? Okay. So went straight to the 25 and then V's up over here. Where would be the best place? Hold on, let me flip this. Where would be the best place to go long? Right? The 4 hour 25% level, which is an ultra discount if you're bullish. Anything under that is great, but anything under the 50% of the 15-minute dealing range is also a very good long. So both of these got to the ultra discount, 25%, 25%. Look where it bounced. It was perfect. You just long from here. And then you'll see that we're just respecting the lines one by one. You see, we always make a corresponding, you always see a corresponding CISD off of these lines. Maybe not at the open. Yeah, this takes quite a bit of practice. So I would try to kind of back test a little bit and test yourself out if you're finding the correct OBs or the CISDs and whatnot, because it can be tricky. It can be a little bit wrong. You could be looking at something that's not even an order block. That's just a down close candle that has no significance, right? Yeah, but you'll see that at every level, pretty much there was a order block, right? Or, I mean, sorry, yeah, order block or CISD, well, all the same thing, whatever. So, yeah, oh yeah, this was a tricky one today. I'm gonna put out a trade recap later, but this was awesome because it swept this low and price came back and closed over this. So this was actually an OB and it took the high over here. So anyways, yeah, it was crazy. I think I got in down over here while it was forming, and then I was reaching for the high over here, but while it was going up, it just decided to like stab down and then come back up. But that stab down was to this order block over here. So anyways, yeah, it looks messy, right? You probably wouldn't have thought that was an order block, but yep. Anyways, all right. I hope this helped. I hope you guys learned a lot from this. Yeah, again, if you guys want more help establishing these dealing ranges, don't hesitate to DM me or put it in the comments on how to find these ranges. Just let me know. All right. All right. Take care. Good night, guys.